Hello everyone, welcome to the 11th leg of Down the East Coast bush trip. Currently we are in Palm Beach International, and for today's flight we're gonna go towards Miami Executive. So let's get started. The first thing that I'll do is let's go to our weight and balance and check out our fuel. We'll remove our co-pilot, we don't need that, and we'll add luggage for about like 80 pounds. That will bring back our center of gravity, and we have 50% fuel, which is default and should be perfect for our flight. So let's go ahead and start setting up our aircraft. So first thing first, I'll put our fuel tank to left, turn on the master switch, and let's confirm our fuel quantity. So here you can see we have half on each tank. That is good. I am going to go back here, and what's up with this today? Okay, also we're going to be using 2 VORs today, so that will be exciting because I still didn't use VOR to VOR since I started using the GTN 750. So let's go ahead and first thing start our engine. For that we'll turn on our beacon light, we'll turn our alternator, our prop can go all the way forward, our mixture will go full rich, and then back again. We'll keep our throttle just a little bit inside there, and let's go ahead and start our engine. Our target is to keep the RPM within 14 to 1500. So I'm going to increase it just a little bit, and you can see the RPM indicator is going on. One thing that I didn't do is turn on my fuel pump, but I think the engine is starting good anyways. So with that we can go ahead, turn off our fuel pump and start our timer for switching our fuel tanks. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the work that is needed to be done. We're gonna set our flight, and we'll quickly set what we are trying to do. So we're gonna go from Palm Beach International, and our destination is KTMB, Miami Executive. There you go. On our route we can just add the VORs, PBI, and Dolphin, DHP. We'll see. Yep, it is this one. So we have both of them over here, and we can use we can just set our nav. So our nav 1, let me check if okay, so our nav 1 will be for PBI, which is 111.5. So there you go. We're gonna switch that. I think my button configuration. Okay, there you go. Yeah, and then we can go ahead and grab our nav 2, which I think you have to press one of these. Yeah, there you go. So for our nav 2 we're gonna set I can just use the touch. We're gonna set our Dolphin, which is 113.9, which surprisingly is already there, so we're gonna just transfer that. Okay, with both of those navs set, let's go ahead and select our courses. So for nav 1 we're gonna be following a course of 189 from Palm Beach International. So let's see if we can find 189. So this will be 19 and 189. There you go, that is set. And for our nav 2 we're gonna set a course of we're gonna be flying from Dolphin at 211 for about 10 nautical miles. So 211, let's find that. So this is 21 and 211. There you go, both of them are set, and we can just follow our GPS as well. Now before we do anything, let's go and get our weather information. For Palm Beach International, the winds are at 270 at 10 knots. So 270 at 10 knots. Altimeter, I'm just gonna use the B key to set that, and let's see what runway can we use. So we have 28 left here, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna use 28 right, the longer one. Okay, 28 right. Let's check something else here. We can just keep the chart in front of us for taxiing purposes. Okay, so our heading bug will be selected to, let me do that on my multi-panel, to 279. Okay, and initially we're gonna turn on our heading mode, and just to confirm that we can also turn on this nav, and initially heading mode, and then we're gonna go to nav mode. Heading on, nav 1, currently we're gonna follow nav 1. All of the switches look good. We can go ahead, turn on our nav light as well, and now that we are ready, let's go and start the leg, which will take us to our final leg, where we'll be flying from Miami Executive to Key West. Okay, with all that set, fuel tanks are looking good. We are going to start our taxi just shortly. Parking brake can go off, and we start moving. So we're gonna take Juliet and then get onto Lima, and then use Lima 7 to get on the runway. It says Bravo, but that is actually not. Is it Bravo? Not really sure. Let's go ahead and turn on our pitot heat, just in case we need it. Okay, we are at hold shorting point for runway 27 right, or actually 28 right, sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, runway 28 right. We're gonna go ahead, turn our landing and strobe lights on. Fuel pump can come on. We don't need to change the fuel tank as of right now. We can do it after we take off. And with all that set, yep, we should be good. Good for takeoff here, so let's go ahead and increase our throttle. A little bit of right rudder needed, and we're good to go. Landing gear can come up, and we're gonna start our turn just shortly. Fuel pump can go off. Seems like we still didn't capture the VOR that we're trying to catch, so we'll see about that. Good thing we still have GPS, so we can just use our GPS. And for cruising, I think we're gonna cruise at around 2500, not too high, and we can enjoy the view as well as we cruise at such a low altitude. Currently we are crossing 1300 right now. So we captured our second viewer. So what I'm gonna do is turn on my second, we're gonna track our second viewer. So, and we're gonna fly at it at about the same course. So I'll have to set my course, which means I'm just gonna go to GPS. That way I don't have to worry about anything, and we can just follow the GPS course. And we are here at 2500, so I'm gonna pull my nose down and we're gonna start our level flight over here. Let's go make sure that everything is actually good. Yep, we are on nav and we're following the GPS course. Our fuel tanks are looking good. I'm just gonna keep this yoke over here for the timer, and we'll switch right when we hit around 15 minutes. This flight should take us around 40 minutes, but we're definitely gonna enjoy the views around us. Now that we're cruising, let's bring our RPM to 2300. Just confirm that. Yep, we are at 2300. A little bit of headwind. You can see 6 knots of headwind. Now that we're cruising, let's go ahead and get our destination weather just for reference. Right now it's at 240 at 7 knots. There are a few clouds at 3100. Visibility is good so far. Let's check what runway we have. Well, we have runway 09 and 27, runway 13 and 31. So I think we'll have to choose runway 27, right or left. For that, to make that decision, we can just go back, open info, and let's look at the charts. Yeah, I think we can take either one of those runways. And the winds are coming in at 24. So yeah, we will choose runway 27, either right or left, depending on how we feel. Other than that, for the information, we're gonna get to our next waypoint in 18 minutes. So that will be basically the Dolphin VR, which means we should get to our destination fairly quick, because it's just 10 nautical miles from Dolphin VR. Let's go ahead and change our fuel tank. So I'll stop this over here. Fuel pump can come on, and fuel tank switched. Fuel pump can go off. We'll reset and start. Pretty good weather here, not much of turbulence. There's a little bit of headwind coming in from right at around 7 knots. Other than that, everything is going good so far. So this is basically the second last leg for this down the East Coast bush trip. You can find all the videos on my YouTube channel on a playlist for starting from the very first leg that we started from MacArthur Long Island Airport in Long Island, New York, and we've made pretty good progress. There were flights that I liked less than some of the flights like recently because of weather condition, and some of the legs right before landing there were terrible winds. It was a really good journey though. I got to learn about the Piper Arrow. It's a really good aircraft for VFR flights. And other than that, we are heading towards Key West. So this leg, we're going from Palm Beach International to Miami Executive, and then for our final leg, we're going to be flying from Miami Executive to Key West, Florida. And we're already in Florida, but we're going to be flying to Key West. And the good thing is, we're going to be we'll have the GPS on, but we'll try to fly as much as possible. We'll do hand flying a lot, and we'll try to fly as much as possible through the coastline. So basically, the road that connects mainland Florida to Key West, we're gonna try to follow that route. It's gonna be very fun. I'm really excited. And right after we finish that, this East Coast bush trip, we're gonna try to fly from east to west. So we're gonna be flying from Key West all the way to the southern border of California. I still didn't plan that bush trip. I still don't know what airfields we're gonna go to, but definitely it's gonna be a long one, especially flying this stretch over Texas. It's gonna be a very, very long one. But I'm really excited about that. We're currently cruising at 2000, almost 2500, a little bit more, and we'll get to Dolphin VR in about 14 minutes, in about 15 minutes, and from there it's just 10 nautical miles to Miami Executive Airport. If you have any recommendations for the airports that I must hit when we're flying towards west, make sure to put them on the comment section on YouTube, or if you're watching it live, then you can leave it in the chat on Twitch. But most probably I'll be planning the flight in next 2 days, the entire route, and then from there we'll start our east to west bush trip. Let's go ahead and check our wind for arriving airport. Nothing has changed. It's from 1553 Zulu, and the winds are at 240 at 7 knots, which we decided that we're going to land on runway 27 if the winds continue to be at the same direction. We're just around 8 minutes and 30 seconds from Dolphin VR, and once we get there we're gonna be tracking heading 211. That will lead us to Miami Executive, and from there we can join the traffic pattern, which for that let's check airport elevation. Airport elevation is 8 feet, so we're gonna be joining the traffic pattern at 1000 feet, 1008 feet to be exact, but we're gonna be joining at 1000 feet. As we are there, let's just check our weather data one more time. Still everything looks to be good. seems like the weather, I mean the airport, the field is not drawn there, but that's not a problem. We can just go to charts. So we decided if the wind stays same, then we are going to be landing either on runway 27 left or runway 27 right, whichever one we feel more comfortable. So this is Miami International, but we are not going to the international one. We are rather going to Miami Executive. Can't wait to go to Florida this year. Hopefully I get to go to Florida this year. It's gonna be fun. I started this push trip mainly to learn the Piper Arrow 4, 3 and 4 from JustFlight. Wanted to learn an aircraft other than the Kodiak 100, which is my absolute favorite. But learning this aircraft, it was literally a journey. I started with using no GPS or using just default navigation with VR to VR, and then I wanted to learn the GTN 750 as well, so that's when I started using it, just like in this flight. And taking I mean, I feel like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use the same aircraft for flying from east to west, even though it might be a very slow plane compared to other aircrafts, but I feel like if we do cruise at 150 knots, it should be okay. I mean, we can also choose the TBM 930, which is also a good option. It's a little bit more modern with the G3000 avionics set. But let me know what you think is the right choice. I mean, for a trip like that, we can definitely choose the TBM 930. I just have to do a little bit of configuration because I want to map the G3000 on my loop deck, so I don't have to use the mouse as much. But other than that, if I can successfully configure all that, then I might end up choosing the TBM 930, especially for like longer stretches that we're gonna do in Texas and all that. So for that, I might end up choosing the TBM 930. But if I don't for some reason, then it's gonna be definitely the JustFlight Piper Arrow. It's gonna be fun. Whatever aircraft we choose, it is gonna be fun. With the TBM 930, I'll just have to map all the knobs, which I still couldn't. I couldn't find exactly what sim variables they use or sim connect events they use. Other than that, it should be a fun trip even with the TBM 930. Not sure what airport this is. Let's try to find out if we can zoom in and see. Miami Opaloka Executive. Not sure what airport that is, but it's cool. Looks pretty nice. I love flying this plane. The more I fly, the more fun it is. It's a little bit slow for longer like legs and stretches, but other than that, it's a beautiful plane. And we can see Miami City over there, right over there. Most probably this is the Miami International Airport. Looks huge from here, so yep, that is the Miami Miami International Airport. but we're flying to the smaller one, the executive one. One thing that I forgot now that I realized is our fuel. So it has been 15 minutes. Well, not bad. Right on time. Let's check if we do need to change our fuel tank. Right now we're using the right fuel tank. So yeah, we can go ahead and change our fuel tank right now. So for that, I'll stop the timer, turn on my fuel pump, and give it a second and switch to left tank. I have all of these switches binded to my Bravo throttle quadrant. And we can turn off our fuel pump. I'm gonna reset the timer and start again. I think next time we have to change it is right before we land. So Miami International on our left right now. And Miami City as well. So once we cross over the Dolphin VOR, it will be only 10 nautical miles from our airport, so we're going to start descending down to 1,000 feet. Very slow descent around, we'll try to keep it around 500 feet per minute. And let me set my heading bug to the runway that we are deciding to land on. So one last final check for information. And we'll go to charts. So okay, right now it changed. Variable at 5 knots. Altimeter is 3009. Let me set that quickly. 3009. And altimeter is set. Temperature 28. That is good. We don't really need pitot heat. And winds are variable at 5 knots. So what we're gonna do is, even though it is variable, we're still gonna try to keep going for runway 27 left or right, whichever we want. That is fine. Yeah, there we go. Let's start descending down. Cut down my power as we descend down. We're gonna try to keep it at 500 feet. Oops, too low of throttle without the landing gear down, and you're gonna get that warning. If we feel like we're gonna keep an eye on this wind indicator. If we feel like like the winds are not suitable for the runway that we decided, which is 28, we can go ahead and choose another runway. And we're gonna be hand flying once I see the airfield, and yeah, from there we'll start doing what we feel right based on the winds. Just gonna go back to the charts because I forgot the runway heading. It should be 280 or 279 or something like that. So let's go in and check the runway headings. 273. Yeah, okay, so it is 273. Our heading bug is set for heading 273. The runway is gonna be on our right. So 27 right will be our easy choice, but let's see if we have to join in for the pattern, or we can go ahead and do a straight in. As of right now, we're gonna have a little bit of crosswind, not a little bit, significant crosswind. We're about 2 minutes away from our airfield and we are at 1500 feet. Once we're at 1000 feet, I'm gonna take over and we'll hand fly the rest of it. I think this is the airport. Yes, I have decided I'm going to go on the traffic circuit, and from there the pattern, and from there I'll decide what runway to really choose instead of going for a straight in. We're at 1200, so I'm gonna take over from autopilot. We're gonna be hand flying now, and we'll stay level at around 1200 feet until we get over to our airfield. So this is runway 27, right? Which means, and the winds are, it doesn't really matter which way we land. There you go, confirmed 27 right. So we're gonna go ahead and try to line up with that runway using the traffic pattern. And this is the runway we're gonna land at. So as we are on, per se, downwind, first thing I'm gonna put my landing gear down so we can decrease our speed further for flaps. And flaps is set to 10. We're not going to decrease too much altitude. We do have to fly a little bit further in order to have enough space to make a full 180-degree turn. And for basically the, I don't want to extend the final turn, or I mean the base turn too much. So it'll be a base and final turn altogether. I'm gonna just fly over this lake that I see right in front of me, and that's when we're gonna start turning towards our base and final. Let's get to about 700 feet before we do our base turn. Almost there. Yep, and now we can start our base and final turn. Making sure not to drop too much of altitude. I see the runway. We have to just, we didn't have that much space, so I'm not surprised that we overshoot that base turn. That is fine. We're just going to line up with the runway, easy. And I'm going to bring my flaps to 20. We'll try to hold a speed of about 80 knots. The landing gear is already down. Fuel pump can come on. And prop can go full forward. We're a little bit low, but now we are back on track. In terms of speed, we are a bit fast, so let's fix that. Flaps full, and we'll try to hold about 80 to 75 knots for our final. A bit of a crosswind, around 5 knots as we expected. So not as calm of a landing as we did yesterday, but a little bit difficult today. There you go, a little bit of a bounce at the end. We're gonna take our flaps up. And let's see which way do we exit from here. So we're gonna take, I think it's Golf taxiway to exit, and then we're gonna go on Alpha to our ramp. That was an okay landing. We just bounced a little bit at the end. The winds were pretty good. And the final was not at all what I wanted it to be. We were getting pushed around everywhere, but at the end we made it safe on ground. Our fuel pump can go off. And we're gonna take this Golf taxiway to Alpha to go to our ramp. So the taxi chart that we get from Navigraph is very different compared to what we see on the airport. Like right now we are supposed to be on Alpha, but it says we are, I think, on Charlie or something. But I can see the ramp right over there. Flaps up, fuel pump is off, and we are good here for taxiing. So this is it for our 11th leg, and the 12th and the final leg I'll try to stream it on Thursday most probably. So stay tuned and keep an eye on the YouTube channel if you missed the stream, and I'll see you in the next one. We are good here. We can go ahead and turn our parking brake. There you go, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.